This video was made in collaboration with NARUTOPEDIA. For more information, check out the link in the description. The Life of White Zetsu from Naruto. White Zetsu was half of the Akatsuki member Zetsu, the other being Black Zetsu. He was one of the first victims of Kaguya Ōtsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi, and was eventually pulled from the demonic statue of the Outer Path by Black Zetsu, and infused with the DNA of Hashirama Senju by Madara Uchiha. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over the life of White Zetsu. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Background. White Zetsu was originally one of the victims of Kaguya Ōtsutsuki's infinite Tsukuyomi, who was transformed after being tethered to the God Tree over the course of years and ultimately stored within the demonic statue of the Outer Path. After Madara Uchiha summoned the statue and cultivated Hashirama Senju's DNA into a large flowering tree, Black Zetsu removed White Zetsu and the other victims from inside the husk, leaving Madara to believe they were artificial humans created by the statue's chakra and Hashirama's DNA. White Zetsu and other mutated humans were then tasked with intelligence gathering before he and a spiral pattern Zetsu were entrusted with looking after rehabilitating Obito Uchiha. Over time, the duo became friends with the young Uchiha. When Obito's rehabilitation was near completion, White Zetsu returned to the base and informed Obito that Kakashi Hatake and Rin Nohara were being attacked by Kirigakure Shinobi. When the spiral pattern Zetsu offered to help Obito by encasing him around the young Uchiha in order to enable him to leave the cave, White Zetsu served to guide Obito telepathically with the information he received from other Zetsus stationed outside. When they returned to Madara, White Zetsu assured him that no one had seen them and relayed information on what had happened after the arrival of Konoha reinforcements, noting that Obito didn't kill Kakashi. When Madara was on the verge of death, he imbued Black Zetsu into White Zetsu's right half, believing the former was a manifestation of his will. Zetsu later accompanied Obito to Amagakure to locate Nagato, who had unknowingly been given Madara's Rinnegan as a child, and watched as Obito introduced himself using Madara's identity. Sasuke Recovery Mission. After Sasuke and Naruto's fight at the Valley of the End, Kakashi and Pakun appear to bring Naruto back home. As the three begin the journey back home to Konoha, Zetsu appears from the ground, having witnessed the whole battle. Later, his silhouette appeared with the arrest of the Akatsuki members, where they discussed Orochimaru taking Sasuke Uchiha, the capturing of the Nine Tails, and the furthering of their plans. Kazekage Rescue Mission. During the extraction of the One Tail, Zetsu is told by the Akatsuki leader to use his real body to use as a lookout, in which he identifies several enemies, such as Team Guy, Team Kakashi, as well as Chiyo, who was with the latter. Later, he is sent to dispose of the corpses of Mukade and Yura, finding Mukade a delicious meal. After Sasori and Deidara were defeated, Zetsu and Tobi were sent to retrieve their rings and dispose of their corpses. However, he was unable to eat Sasori due to him being a puppet, but was amazed to finally see what the real Sasori looked like. Tobi found Sasori's ring, wishing to take his place. Black Zetsu thought this was a bad idea, but White Zetsu thought otherwise, noting that Tobi was a good person. They later found Deidara's severed right arm and believed him dead until he arrived and proved them wrong. This caused Black Zetsu to wonder why Deidara hadn't captured Naruto Uzumaki, to which Deidara replied that he had already fulfilled his quota either way. Akatsuki Suppression Mission. After Hidan and Kakuzu defeated Yugito Ni, Zetsu appeared to retrieve Yugito, and asked if Hidan was finished with his long-winded ritual. When Hidan claimed they were infidels, ignorant of prayers, Zetsu told him that when sad and alone, all one can count on is yourself. Kakuzu, disagreeing, stated that money was all one could count on. White Zetsu agreed that money was important, however Black Zetsu stated that finding the next one was much more important. Zetsu is later seen sealing the Two Tails. Itachi Pursuit Mission. After Deidara's death, Zetsu was sent to recover his body, with White Zetsu wondering what happened to Tobi. Black Zetsu mentioned that based on the damaged area, he was most likely caught up in Deidara's explosion. Later, when Pain had encouraged the organization to mourn Deidara's loss, White Zetsu took it on himself to mourn for Tobi's loss, while Black Zetsu thought such a notion was ridiculous. Tale of Jiraiya the Gallant. After Pain's fight with Jiraiya, Zetsu revealed himself to have been watching the whole battle. As Pain announced he was going to capture the Nine Tails, White Zetsu said it would be an interesting battle and wanted to go. However, Black Zetsu had another battle in mind, and they decided to watch Sasuke's battle with Itachi. Fated battle between brothers. Both have spectated and commented on the battle, with Black Zetsu offering knowledge on various Sharingan abilities. When Itachi died, Zetsu noted that Itachi should not have been that weak. believing him to have already been afflicted prior to the battle. He later appeared near Toby while he was engaged in combat with the 8-man squad, to report to him the result of the fight. They then led Toby to where Itachi and Sasuke were, with Black Zetsu confirming to Toby that he had indeed recorded the fight. After a meeting with Taka and Kisame, Toby met with Zetsu on a bridge where they discussed the fact that Itachi, who had been hampering their plans, was dead, and Zetsu lamented on the fact that so many Akatsuki members had died. Toby said their deaths were worth it because Sasuke was in his hands now. Six Tails Unleashed. In the anime, Zetsu was present alongside the other Akatsuki members when they extracted the Six Tails from Utakata. Pain's Assault. Zetsu is present when Akatsuki begins sealing the 8 Tails, and when it is revealed that the Jinchuriki fooled Sasuke and replaced himself with a tentacle, White Zetsu flew into a hysterical laughter, which greatly annoyed Black Zetsu. Upon Nagato's death and Naruto returning to the village crowned a hero, Zetsu revealed himself to have been hidden inside of a tree, watching the entire fight between them, hardly believing Pain to have been defeated, but decided to relay the information to Toby. He then returns to Toby and Kisame, reporting Nagato's death and betrayal, also mentioning that Konan won't be returning either. 5 Kage Summit. Zetsu finds Toby after the latter had encountered Taka, revealing that Konoha had already been destroyed and that Danzo had been named the acting Hokage. They then mention to Sasuke that Naruto had defeated Pain and was probably stronger than him. When Taka agreed to go to the Kage Summit, Zetsu split in half, and White Zetsu proceeded to lead Sasuke and his team to the Kage Summit. White Zetsu stayed with Taka in the Land of Iron, observing the meeting of the 5 Kage and trying to figure out a way to successfully assassinate Danzo. After identifying Danzo, White Zetsu managed to slip away from Taka unnoticed. White Zetsu later emerged in the conference room, telling the 5 Kage that Sasuke was around somewhere. After revealing himself, the 4th Raikage grabbed the White Zetsu's neck, asked him about the whereabouts of Sasuke, and threatened to use force. Zetsu mockingly replied that he would give a hint, which prompted the Raikage, angered, to tighten his grip on Zetsu's neck. With his neck snapped, the White Zetsu collapsed on the floor and was presumed to be dead by everyone in the vicinity. After Sasuke had been struck by the 5th Mizukage's Boil Release skilled mist technique, Zetsu's Spore technique, which had secretly been implanted on everyone in the meeting hall before the Raikage's attack, activated. The spores leached some of the Mizukage's chakra while binding the samurai guards, Mifune, Onoki, and everyone else. One of the spores then jumped onto Sasuke and gave him the absorbed chakra, allowing him to use an arm of Susanoo to escape from the Mizukage. The spores were later successfully neutralized by everyone present at the time of their release. After Naruto and Sasuke clash, the aftermath of which sends Sasuke hurtling towards a wall, a clone of White Zetsu appears and wraps himself around Sasuke to cushion the blow. Revealing that Toby had told him to keep an eye on Sasuke, the clone contacts the real White Zetsu, who alerts Toby. Upon Toby's arrival, the White Zetsu clone, prepared to fight and capture Naruto, created several more copies of himself. Before he could engage in combat, however, Toby tells him not to, as he wasn't a frontline fighter, but instead gives him the task of checking up on Kisame and rejoining with Black Zetsu. White Zetsu and Black Zetsu meet up at the site of Killer Bee and Kisame's battle, only to reveal that Kisame's decapitated body was actually one of White Zetsu's shape-shifting clones. It is then revealed that Kisame, by having the clone fake his death, was then able to infiltrate Kumogakure while inside Samehara, which was being carried back to Kumogakure by Killer Bee, who intended to use it as his own weapon. Black Zetsu then stated that it was their feeding time, and that they should merge once again. 4th Shinobi World War. Countdown. In the anime, Zetsu sees off Toby before he made his journey to Amagakure to retrieve Nagato's Rinnegan. Upon Toby's acquisition of the Rinnegan, Zetsu informed him that the scroll with the information that Kisame Hoshigaki sent through his messenger shark had arrived, also noting that everything seemed to be going in their favor. Zetsu later accompanies Toby as he shows Kabuto around the mountain's graveyard, but questions if Toby should really trust him. 4th Shinobi World War. Confrontation. Supervising Sasuke's recovery, Black Zetsu told him to be patient when he asked if his bandages could be removed, with White Zetsu remarking that if he did regain his sight, it would be to a different world, and that things were getting really fun. As the 4th Shinobi World War commenced, Black Zetsu separates from White Zetsu to carry out his assigned tasks, leaving White Zetsu to make sure Kabuto could not abduct Sasuke during the confusion of war. White Zetsu's spores are also placed on Kabuto's body to help monitor him. After being alerted about Naruto and Killer Bee escaping the island turtle from Black Zetsu, White Zetsu reported this to Toby, also questioning if they still needed to capture the daimyo. Upon being told they didn't matter, White Zetsu lamented that Black Zetsu was fighting the Mizukage for nothing, to which Toby responded that by stalling the Mizukage and her allies, they were effectively splitting up her forces. White Zetsu asked about what Toby was going to do, in which he revealed he was going to join the battle by stealing the substitute. 4th Shinobi World War. Climax. On the second day of the war, White Zetsu was used as a test subject for Sasuke's new eyes, and impaled by a blade formed from the black flames of Amaterasu, which was wielded by the youth Susanoo and was subsequently incinerated. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.